Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tour Tuesday.
Hello.
We added more lights, and we're trying to find the right balance between.
We're trying not to look white.
And we're having trouble with our new mics. Maybe because it's not on. Oh, that might be. Maybe it's because it's not on. It wasn't on.
Okay.
Well, that's fun.
We
We have 3 people in here. Who we got in here first? You can see from the comments. Michael, of course. Great to see you.
Naturally. Hi, Mike. We're waiting for you to sign up for a tour.
There we go. There we go.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
My bad. Good. Well, we have a huge week this week.
Yes.
It's already been crazy. We've been up since like 4 a.m.
We're not kidding. We really have been up since 4 a.m. We had to see the Kentucky Derby off today, and they left at 6.
And the dogs in your backyard wouldn't stop barking. So you
At
haven't been to bed at all.
3:30.
Are they okay back there?
Well, I was worried because now that they have the babies, there's 4 little babies now. I'm afraid something big is going to eat them.
Seriously, or a big bird.
So I'm looking out the window. I don't know what I'm going to do. Run out there in my PJs, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's awful. Hi, Mike. Okay, Marilyn, good to see you. Darlene, Debbie, Douglas, good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Karen, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So not only did we have the Derby leave today with Carrie and Robert, we also have Pella going out on Saturday. Crazy.
That is a crazy one.
3 buses, the biggest group we've ever taken anywhere.
120 people. Taken.
We have done that. Have we done that tour the whole time?
Just about. I think that probably 8 years. Usually, probably 8 years. But we never really had 2 buses. We always had one bus. And one bus is, that's fine. But then when you add a second bus, then the logistics and everything sort of changes,
Yeah.
Because you have to make sure the people are going with the people they want to go with. And one of them might be in Omaha and one of them might be in Lincoln. And you've got all of your pickup lists made out already. And you got all your tags made out. So if one person changes, you got to change this and you got to pull the tag.
Yeah.
And
so now and I think also it adds to that, not only that, we have, since it's one day, people typically add last minute and also cancel last minute.
Yes.
And every single time that changes, it changes all the other paperwork.
Yes. And then you can't forget, we have to call Pella and talk to Charma.
Yep.
Who has been helping us all these years with this. She helps us get it all set up and lined up because not everybody, you can't have everybody going to one place at one time.
Right.
You got to have one bus has to stop here for a rest stop and the other bus has to stop over here for the rest stop. When you get to Pilla, one bus parks here and goes to the ladies' room or the men's room. And then the other bus stops there. And then when you start and you go to the windmill, you have time slots.
Right.
Like 10:10, this group 10:10, 5 of you 10:10, another 5 at 5:15. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And then they all meet up for lunch, I think, right?
Yeah, they all meet up for lunch and they go to the college for lunch.
Cool.
And that's fine. We sit there for about an hour and a half and eat. And then we're on our way to the parade. And they sit on the bleachers and they watch them dust off or sweep all the streets and everything before they start.
Awesome.
And then at 2:00, the parade starts.
Wow. And now we have 3 buses. So imagine all that plus another bus.
I about fell over because I had one sheet all Omaha people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
One sheet all Lincoln people. And then we start getting Fremont and Norfolk and some more Omaha and some more Lincoln. So we just added another bus and put them all together.
Good idea. And we have some switching though, right?
Yeah.
But not a ton. I thought we'd have a lot more, to be honest.
Last year we did. This year it's not too bad.
Yeah.
There's only about 4 people that want to sit with somebody on the first bus instead of the third bus.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's a big haul for as far as logistics. So we have Brian and there's somebody that probably wants to sign up for Pella, hopefully. Right?
Oh.
Brian, Michael, and I'm having a moment because the phone's ringing. This is
He can't stand it when the phone rings.
Bill. So all
Yes.
shuttling that day. In Norfolk, it's like a 3:45 pickup, and then you have a bus starting in Norfolk, and then Fremont, and then Omaha, and then you have a Lincoln bus, an Omaha bus, and we have 2 guys on one bus, 2 guys on another bus, and another guy on the last bus, and us all here making sure that it all goes smoothly and getting all the waters. How many water bottles is that? Oh my god, how many coolers did Tom make?
Well, he made one cooler for each with ice, and then each one got 2 more
Cases
cases
of
of water on the bus.
Yep.
So
All the cookies.
right, all the treats.
Wild.
And you forgot.
Which one?
Well, now I forgot. The phone's ringing.
This is what it's like being live. So it's great. We're so excited and grateful that so many people have trusted us to take them on a trip out to Pella. We've got a new community in Lincoln called Legacy that is working with us. We've got some wonderful people from those communities that we are going to tour with. So it's fun to have them on board.
Yeah, we got quite a few, and they're all going to meet us at the Country Inn, right?
Yes, Brian and Cliff are going to pick up the people from Legacy and then take them to the Country Inn, and then everybody leaves from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you would talk to Judy, who takes care of all the orders and everything, she would probably have a different story than we have. Wouldn't she?
It's a lot of back and forth.
Every time she gets something different, she's.
Well, if you think about it, we want to make sure it's perfect for everybody, and it only takes one person to feel like it didn't quite go right, and we don't want that to happen to any of our guests. And so it's just a lot of checks and balances, and it's a great thing we have all this great staff here to make sure it all works. You know, Sudie, Pat, Judy, you guys.
I love doing the logistic things, though.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, to prep us for that Wilmington Women's Conference, we have 12 buses. That'll really be fun. So that's Pella coming up. We kind of want to talk about a little bit about how it was to plan Pella, and so that's sort of that world as we grow and have more buses. It's great. We don't always have 2 buses because it's a lot of people anywhere,
right?
But it works, and I would say most one days it works out well.
Yes.
Otherwise we know how to stagger the buses and do all that to make sure that you don't have a huge group like trying to use one rest area because it doesn't really work. So
or one restaurant.
True. Even on Christmas Classic, we have 2, and we rotate the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So something else that we wanted to talk about, we've had some guests recently ask us about like Americans' perception overseas, especially when it comes to like traveling overseas. And so we just wanted to talk through it a little bit. Obviously, the world is a very big place, and the news likes to present the most dramatic version of whatever's happening to make sure that you watch, and we all understand that. From our experience and perspective, think about it this way. When you are, going through your day-to-day life, knowing your family, your friends, they're pretty welcoming people, pretty nice, pretty like reasonable. And when you go to like maybe the old market or whatever, and there are people that are not from Nebraska, maybe they're from Florida or from wherever, you don't think anything different, or maybe they're from Europe and you're like, oh wow, this is great that you're here. Because all of our travelers are amazing. You're like, it's exciting. Really,
right. Right.
Maybe you have a little bit of a language barrier, so it's a little awkward to talk, but a simple hello and a smile goes the furthest, I think. Right. That is the same overseas. Most people are reasonable and accepting and warm and friendly and would love to have you there. And specifically when we tour, we are in a lot of places where a lot of tourists go, and they definitely want you to be there.
Right.
So I would, and to mitigate even more of that possibility of getting some sort of negative feedback, is you're going with a group.
Right.
So you won't be like alone off somewhere, maybe being cornered, thinking that somebody has something negative to say. You're with a group of people. And oftentimes overseas with a local guide. So they will also be there to help, navigate if that ever happened. But, we've been traveling overseas for 10 years or more. And I think in one time I had an experience in Paris where the waiter didn't help us, but it had nothing to do with our American politics. It was just because we were from the States. And it was sort of comical because we had talked about that whole time. And we just got up and moved to the next restaurant and spent our money there. And it was great. I mean, that was just a part of the trip that we laughed about for a long time. So It's not personal.
And you know what else? I always see when they say something is terrible, it's really not terrible all over.
Right.
You're talking maybe a block
Yeah.
of a whole city.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And you get worked up for nothing.
Right.
And we have found that over and over and over.
So true. It's one of the reasons that we started this, is to show people how amazing the world actually is. If you go there and see it, you know, my example is like going to Hawaii or even to Greece, that's foreign. You realize the world is not on fire, even though the news says it is every single day. Like it can be calm. It is beautiful. People are amazingly nice. And they just want to have as much fun in life and live a safe life and healthy life as we do. So I would say, if you're getting that feedback or you're feeling that way, you know, think it through, talk to us about it. I mean, you know, send us an email. We'd love to talk to you about that. But the world really is a beautiful place, and there are a lot of amazing people out there.
Yes.
To have us come visit. So don't let it negate you from coming on a trip. I promise you'll have a great time. And if not, we'll be there to back you up. Okay, awesome. Okay, so Cindy found this really cool plan. We get this question now. This is about our like DC trips and even the Europe trips. You know, people are like, well, how active are these tours? And how do I prepare for that much, like, to walk, right? Because maybe during, like, if you're like your work days and everything like that, or in like your normal day-to-day life, you're not a big walker or a big active person. But when you're on tour, it is a little bit, especially overseas or like New York or DC.
Right.
There's a lot of walking involved with that because of how big they are or the type of trip that it is. So,
so the day that JJ decided that I should go to New York with him, I immediately started my walk pattern.
Yes.
Because I don't walk a lot. I do stretches and all that kind of stuff, and walk up and down the steps here, which is all the time. But anyway, I start walking, and you know, for the first week, I found that if you walk just like 15 to 20 minutes,
okay,
you know, around the lead center or something,
okay,
to get your bearings and see what's going to hurt you.
Got it.
You know,
look a little sore.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to get up the next morning and not be able to move. Totally
true.
Okay. And then probably at the second week, you're going to extend that a little bit.
Okay.
And it's going to be like 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you might want to walk a little faster.
Okay.
Because I know the first week I was pretty slow and pretty stiff. And then the third week, when you get going, it's like for 30 to 35 minutes. And maybe start walking on some, like up a little hill or something like that.
Yeah, like some uneven areas. Okay.
So you're really ready to walk up those things, you know, in New York.
Like subway stairs and stuff.
Thank you very much. They were hard. Okay. And then the fourth week, it would be longer yet. It would be like 40, 45 minutes. And you can break that up if you want to into two 20-minute walks or whatever. Walk and get a coffee someplace and then walk on back home. But you might want to do it on a different terrain.
Okay.
You know, that's not totally flat, because I noticed that especially in Europe, they're sort of uneven because they're like those bricks or something in the street.
Super old. Yes. Yeah.
And just keep doing that and don't stop. Just keep doing it.
I think that sounds amazing. You know, a lot of times it is uneven, or just building that up and getting your muscles all in that muscle memory of like walking like that much will help you immensely. Even if maybe like in New York, you end up walking more than 45 minutes total per day, you are so much more in shape from that 4 weeks than not having done it at all. And then you're surprised.
Right. And you have to have good shoes.
Okay, awesome. So we found some good shoes recently. Where did you find those?
Well, I like these shoes, but not everybody. You know, some people like to get more support. But I like those. Now I can't remember. Starts with an S.
Not Skechers.
Skechers.
Cool.
Yes, Skechers. I like Skechers.
Okay.
Because they feel tight around my foot, my whole foot and everything. Don't wear any sandals. That doesn't work. I tried that already and I broke my toe. So
That's not too funny, but yes, you're right.
yeah,
Painful. Yeah. I mean, when you're on one of those trips, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you, like Cindy said, you have great footwear. Tracking, try to use like, a lot of people have their Apple phones or the smartphones, or they got like a little watch or something.
yeah.
You can track your steps and see, okay, well, we usually walk 10,000 steps or 20,000 steps a day in New York or something. How close am I? How long does it take? I don't hit 10,000 steps that often on a normal day. Even going to the gym now, I don't hit 10,000. So I have to walk longer.
Do
You
you?
know, I don't hit 10,000 unless I like purposely walk for.
Boy, I am really lacking.
I think when I was in like Palm Springs doing that like hiking, it was like I was gone like an hour and a half, I think, and it was 5,000 steps. So yeah, so this shows like how much walking throughout the entire 24 hours to get that is.
Why don't we walk at noon?
We should walk it. Now that it's nice out, I think it'd be amazing to do
And
that.
then we wouldn't fall asleep at 3 o'clock.
That's true. That's true.
At 3 o'clock, it's like dead in here. Not the phone. Everything's going, but everybody's going falling asleep.
Yeah. Well,
We should
we eat
get
that
out
good
there.
food, and then
Yeah,
it's warm out in here.
Tom's fault.
So Sue was on, and she said that make sure that while you have good shoes, that you've broken them in. Definitely don't bring brand new shoes on a
No.
trip that you're going to walk in, because they're going to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start a new pair of shoes with this week 1, and then you only walk in them for a few minutes, and then you get longer and longer, and then in a month they'll be perfect for you. That's great.
Michael says he likes Skechers.
Awesome. Lori Bell said she agreed. Thank you for the great advice, Cindy. Susan Gallagher said, Iowa welcomes you. The tulips in Pilla are gorgeous this year. I know I can't wait to see them.
Ooh.
Our neighbors had a bunch of them, but the wind, it took a lot of them away. Now they're full of dandelions.
You have to see my neighbors. I don't know where
They're so nice, but
they are beautiful people,
yeah.
But they like their flowers in the front of the house instead of the back of the house. I think that's sort of, I think some countries do that too, don't they?
Well, I mean, if they were like bedded, but they're just like thrown in the yard like a wildflower farm.
Well,
so
that's a dandelion you're looking at.
Oh,
okay.
Got it. Anywho, flowers, Pilla,
Okay.
sidetrack. Okay, let's see. So 2 tours that we were just going to highlight really quickly for you is Pacific Coast Adventure and our New England. We've been not talking about that a lot. Yellowstone. Some of you may have been on Yellowstone. Some of you may have been on Pacific Coast Adventure. We'll start with the Pacific Coast. This is an amazing trip that Cindy and I developed 2 years ago. It went last year with Bill and Chris. They had a great time. It's great views. It's a total scenic tour, a good mix of like city life and like sightseeing and ocean views. This is September 15th to the 24th. It is 10 days. You start in Seattle, you fly there, and you drive all the way down to San Diego. So almost the entire length of the continental United States. You're going to stop and you're going to do a city tour in Seattle, have an amazing welcome dinner. You're going to see some really cool sites there. You're going to move on to Oregon, and you're going to stop in Portland and spend the night in the Eugene area. You're going to see the Sonoma Falls, the Ballard Locks, the International Rose Garden, and of course all over Portland and what that city's really like. It's so beautiful. I love the smell of it. It smells like wet wood.
That's because you're following the ocean.
Yeah,
honey.
It feels like a big lumber yard. It was awesome when I was visiting. So the next day, all about redwoods. So Coos Bay, Redwood National Park. You're going to get to spend time there. And again, while you're going down this path, you're like on Highway 101 and the interstate. So you're sort of back and forth on the Ocean Drive and then on the interstate. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, sometimes the ocean like drive is blocked. And it takes forever to get somewhere. So we will do this very, very scenic parts and plenty of time on 10 days of the ocean views. But sometimes it's nice to just get where you need to go. And so we take the interstate. You also do a really cool sand dune buggy ride, like a fast sand dune buggy ride with a big group.
People like that.
It was hysterical. It was so fun. Avenue of the Giants, Muir Woods in San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge. We had great views of the Golden Gate Bridge last time. It's foggy 80% of the time, so every once in a while it clears out. The city tour is really unique and fun. I was just in San Francisco, and I like city life, so I'm never like nervous to go or mind when
Mhm.
cities are busy and kind of dirty compared to Omaha. But San Fran was not like that. It was so clean. It was like it was ready for people to come. They were like getting ready for some big event. Like Chinatown was amazing. Downtown the Fan District was amazing. We went to all different neighborhoods, like shopped and ate. It was fantastic. So I really loved it.
I like San Fran.
Spent time in San Fran, Alcatraz, that's included on the tour, Pier 39, Fisherman's Wharf, Ghirardelli Square. And then you head down to Santa Cruz, Monterey, Santa Barbara. I mean, these gorgeous ocean towns that we put together that are so pretty. The hotels are amazing. You go to Los Angeles and get to know Los Angeles with a really fun city tour, and then on to San Diego. That resort was also amazing. That's right by SeaWorld, actually. And then a fantastic Mexican welcome farewell dinner, and then you fly home.
Jeez.
This is beautiful, and so much ocean time.
I know.
Spectacular pictures.
I know.
So flights are $350, you guys, round trip from Omaha.
I cannot believe it.
Crazy. We have group airfare on Alaskan Airlines. It's crazy, from Omaha to Seattle, and then from San Diego to Omaha. If you want to fly from somewhere else, we can get that arranged for you too, and they're probably the same price, or it could be better. Usually Omaha's a little more than Kansas City.
Mhm.
But so an amazing trip. You should totally take advantage of it. Check it out.
Okay, and my trip doesn't need any flying. My, my trip is going to the Yellowstone National Park.
Have you ever been? I've never been.
You know what? I have never been either, Jay.
This is one of our popular tours. We built this
I know.
basically from
We
fish
built it
cans.
and we still haven't gone.
Mm.
Every time I want to go, something comes up. But anyway, we start out in Rawlins, Wyoming. That's our first day, our driving. And then we have our welcome dinner and everything. And then the next day, we're doing a little bit more driving and we're going through Billings, Montana. Okay, and you can see the sand hills from there. And then the third day, we're going to go to Idaho. Let's see, what is it?
It's Idaho, but it's Island Falls.
Island Park,
Idaho. Island Park, yep.
It's a beautiful resort town. And we stayed there 3 nights. And from there, we go to Yellowstone one night or one day, all day. And we do have a guide that will take us there. And then the second day, we also go to Yellowstone for a whole day with our guide. You know, you're going to be seeing the Grand Canyon, Old Faithful, Mammoth Hot Falls, the Yellowstone Lake.
Cool.
And that gusher.
Yep, the geyser, Old Faithful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's so cool.
And then from there, we're going to leave in I have to think here. We go to the Tetons.
Tetons, right.
Right. You told me to make just some short notes. I made them so short, I can't remember. Okay. So we're going to Tetons, and then we're going to see that national park. And then we go to Jackson Hole.
Yes. And in between, we do a boat cruise, I believe, right?
Oh,
Jenny
that's
Lake.
right. Jenny Lake cruise.
Super
Only
cool.
if there's water in it.
So far, there's water in it. So
that 1 year, there was not very much water in it. So we couldn't go.
That's right.
You know, and Judy, the girl that works there, my aunt, she lives at Beaver Lake, and they can't even get their boats in because the water's so low.
Oh, and they're like here, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, we got off track. Anyway, and then the next day we are going to go to a horse sanction farm, wild horses, the stallions.
Awesome.
And you get on a bed, like a hay bed.
Okay.
And then you go out to wherever these horses are, and they're running wild.
Cool. That would be so awesome to see.
And they let them run wild. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. One of our guests that go with us, who takes pictures, had a ton of pictures of those horses riding. Jay
Davis. Yeah.
I want one of those pictures in this office.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. And that trip is in September 13th to the 19th. It's 7 days. And it's $18.50. And like I said, you don't have to fly. You just get on a bus.
Yep. We also have one from Kansas.
Right.
Yeah. It's similar dates. It's close to the same price.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing. I would love to do that trip. We're going to do all the small states this year, and maybe next year we'll do Yellowstone.
Okay.
It's also during the busiest time of year for us, when our tour parties are and a trillion trips are, and so that is why it's hard to go anytime in the fall actually, because we also want to do Ireland, and that's not gonna happen.
We got to get to some of these places, Jay. Now that Bree's here with us,
we're just gonna bum off and
well,
go right on the bus.
I'm finding more and more, Jay, that we have a little bit, not free time, but a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, time to think. I find myself thinking a lot more on the desk too, like
Right.
thinking through things, and
Right.
it feels good actually.
Yeah. Well, if you have noticed, my desk is getting a little lower with the paper.
It is. Well, the big challenge is a big change, not challenge. A big change is moving from all the paper we have to a lot more digital and a little less paper. So we're finding a new balance with that.
And the only one that has the most paper is me, because I'm from the older school.
We can do. We're gonna do this. This is just
No,
funny.
don't you show them.
We just saw one desk and another desk, and the difference.
So everybody else in here has their desk cleaned, because everything's in their memory box, which is their computer. Brienne is trying to help me get mine all in there.
Hey, you did great.
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to let go of that paper. I always think I have to have a backup.
Well,
That's an old school thing.
it is, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple really amazing things. We have a really fun announcement next week that you should invite all your friends to this live next week.
Yes.
Because we are going to have a big celebration on next Tour Tuesday. So what's that, May 4th, 5th, May 6th. May 6th, we have a big celebration here. So you'll want to tune in. You're going to see Facebook posts about it, so we're not going to spill the beans. But you're going to see Facebook posts about it. And just share the live with everybody, because it's going to be super fun, and it's going to be a chance to win some trips.
Right.
A lot of trips, actually. So super, super excited about that next week, next Tuesday. Let's see. We still have, since we talked about Pella, and there's been those like on and off people coming and going, we have 6 spots available for Pella. So if you would like to go with us this weekend, give us a buzz. You can, 402-293-9282, you know the number. Give us a call, or go online and sign up for it online. It's open to sign up for online. It's all day. We'll get you the details you need. Doesn't matter if it's a couple days away, no problem.
Okay.
What else are we missing here?
Well, I didn't want to tell him wrong. I didn't know we had 6 more spots. It must have came after I left.
Yep. So we have 6 more changes to make.
Okay. I don't want to think I'm lying.
6 of them. Yep. Yeah, I think it's just been, it's been fun. It's been wild.
It's been crazy here.
We also took all your feedback about the loyalty program and the referral program, and we are a long ways on track for the referral program first.
Right.
That we really have some legs to, and we have a meeting tomorrow about that. So that will be finalized for the new catalog, so that you'll be able to take advantage of that amazing program. Hi, Pam. Hey, Rick. And all kinds of amazing tours in the works. I think we're going to have really close to 100 actual tours next year with all these really cool additions. You, Bree, and I, we all divided up some tours to work on, and we have quite a few, including a lot of 5 one-day trips from Kansas City, because we don't really have it.
And some Nebraska one-day trips.
Yeah, and some Nebraska one-day trips, yeah.
Because we had a lot of Iowa and Kansas, but we didn't have too many Nebraskas.
Yeah. And I can't leave without giving a shout out to all the people that went on the mystery tour this weekend. Sue did a great job as guide. It was super fun. We got to go along and hang out with the fam, and it was wild. I will just say that mystery number 5 is a riot. So if you want to try it next year, you definitely got to get on. And if you've been on it, don't spoil it. Don't ruin it. Don't spill the beans.
I didn't get to go.
You didn't want to go.
Jay, I couldn't go.
She has a hurt toe.
I broke my toe again. My bones are breaking.
More calcium. Everybody, it was so great to see you all. Thank you so much for tuning in on Tuesday. We will see you all next week for a big celebration. Can't wait to chat with you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.